Hi, folks. Welcome back to Cortisco's Corner. This is a article, an event that happened today that should send shockwaves through the media and journalism in the United States. Glenn Greenwald resigned. He is one of the co-founders of The Intercept, and you've seen him on Fox many times and other channels. He's a stand-up guy, no BS guy, just gets to the facts. He wrote a piece for The Intercept, which he co-founded, and he has in his contract a no-edit clause. You can't change what I write. And he was very critical of the current scandal involving Joe Biden and his family and money with foreign powers, i.e. China and Russia. They would not let him publish it unless he removed the things concerning Joe Biden. So he quit. It's in his contract. I hope he sues him for a ton of money and breaks the company. But that's just me. Now, I'm going to, as you can tell, that I'm not exactly on the Intercept side of this one. I'm going to read you a little bit of what the Intercept said, and then I'll say what Mr. Greenwald said. Glenn Greenwald's decision to resign from the Intercept stems from a fundamental disagreement over the role of editors in the production of journalism and the nature of censorship. Their definition of censorship is way different than everybody else's. Glenn demands the absolute right to determine what he will publish. He does. It's in his contract. He believes that anyone who disagrees with him is corrupt, and anyone who presumes to edit his words is a censor. Yeah, in this case, it is. Thus, the preposterous charge of the Intercept's editors and reporters, with the low, noble exception of Glenn Greenwald, insert sarcasm here, have betrayed our mission to engage in fearless investigative journalism. Sorry. Because we have been seduced by the lure of a Joe Biden presidency. No, you haven't been seduced by a Joe Biden presidency. You've been seduced by Trump derangement syndrome. Anything to get him out. Put the country at risk. Put it behind 10 years. Doesn't matter. Get Trump out. That's what you've been seduced by. A brief glance at the stories the Intercept has published on Biden will suffice to refute those claims. Yeah, so they gave him a couple of shots. The narrative Glenn presents about his departure is teeming with distortions and inaccuracies, all of them designed to make him appear as a victim, rather than a grown person throwing a tantrum. Ooh, I guess they didn't like it when he left. It would take too long to point them all out here, but we intend to correct the record in time. Oh, I'm sure they will. For now, it's important to make clear that our goal in editing his work is to ensure that he would be accurate and fair. You don't have the right. That was the point when he founded it. You can't edit his work. While he accuses us of political bias, it was he who was attempting to recycle the dubious claims of a political campaign, the Trump campaign, and launder them as journalism. Now, all of this stuff about Joe Biden is coming from the Trump campaign, from a guy who was a registered Democrat that gave to Democrats regularly, never gave to a Republican, that's an honest businessman. I retired from the military, as well as his brother's a lifer in the military, his father and his grandfather, who has top clearance, would put his name, his family, his reputation on the line, technically in danger, and receive death threats, all because he likes Donald Trump. That's bullshit. Pure bullshit. I saw the interview with Mr. Bavalinsky and Tucker Carlson. Whether you like Tucker or not is immaterial. The man was extremely credible. And not only does he have firsthand information and evidence, he has documented evidence, both. Launder them as journalism. That's what journalism used to be. That's what it used to be. We have great respect for the journalist Glenn Greenwald used to be, and we remain proud of much of the work we did with him over the past 6 years. It is Glenn who has strayed from his original journalistic roots, not The Intercept. I'll leave it up here. I mean, you can pause the video and read the rest. You can read the rest. And at the end, I love their shot. We have no doubt that Glenn will go on to launch a new media venture. We will face no collaboration with editors, such as the era of Substack and Patreon. You guys are amazing to me. I mean, everything they're accusing Greenwald of, they are. That's what these progressive leftists do. Everything they are that they hate, they deflect to somebody else because that's what they are. They hate themselves. They always have. They always will. Now let's see what the real Mr. Greenwald has to say. The Interceptor co-founder, Glenn Greenwald, quits, claims the editor's censored story critical of Biden. Intercept editor-in-chief said resignation stemmed from a disagreement about the role of editors. Glenn Greenwald is walking away from the Intercept, citing widespread repression, censorship, and ideological homogeneity. Oh, I love that term. Ideological homogeneity. Beautiful. From liberal editors who support Joe Biden is the reason he resigned from the media outlet he co-founded on Thursday. Greenwald explained his decision in a scathing blog post that blasted his former company for censoring an article that was critical of Democratic presidential nominee and his alleged overseas business dealings. He called the current iteration of the Intercept completely unrecognizable when compared to the original vision because it is no longer offers a venue for airing as dissent, marginalized voices, and unheard perspectives. Today, I said my intention to resign from the Intercept, the news outlet I co-founded in 2013 with Jerry Schmale and Laura Pietras, I believe, as well as from his parent company, First Look Media, he wrote. The final precipitating cause is that the Intercept's editors, in violation of my contractual right of editorial freedom, censored an article I wrote this week, refusing to publish it unless I remove all sections critical of Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. The candidate vehemently supported by all New York-based Intercept editors involved in this effort at suppression. The same trends of expression he put on his Twitter page, censorship and ideological homogeneity, plaguing the national press, generally have engulfed the media outlet I co-founded, cultivating in censorship of my articles. Greenwald went on to explain that the censored article, based on recently received emails and witness testimony, raised critical questions about Biden's conduct, which has been an ongoing issue among mainstream media. Many outlets, including CNN, MSNBC, NPR, the New York Times, and Washington Post, have opted against reporting on certain stories related to Biden's alleged overseas business practices. No content to simply prevent publication of this article at the media outlet I co-founded, these Intercept editors also demand that I refrain from exercising a separate contractual right to publish this article with any other publication, Greenwald wrote. I have no objection or disagree with my views and what this Biden evidence shows. As a last-ditch attempt to avoid being censored, I encourage them to air their disagreements with me by writing their own articles that critique my perspectives and letting readers decide who is right. Well, it's like a real journalist. The way any confidant and healthy media outlet would, he concluded, but modern media outlets do not air dissent. They squash it. So censorship of my article rather than engagement with it was the path these Biden-supporting editors chose. Biden posted the censored story on his personal Substack blog and said his work will land there for the immediate future. This, folks, is the Intercept a huge thing? No. It is a symptom of the sickness. It is a symptom of the disease. This is a virus that is worse than COVID-19. It is worse than the pandemic of 1918. It is worse than all of them combined. It will destroy the foundations and the freedoms that we have in this country. And that virus will be much more deadly and kill many more people than any natural-born virus. Believe me when I say this. When you control the media, you control hearts and minds. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Terrible thing. This was not an easy choice. I am voluntarily sacrificing the support of a large institution and guaranteed salary in exchange for nothing other than a belief that there are enough people who believe in the virtues of independent journalism and the need for free discourse who will be willing to discuss my work by subscribing, Greenwald wrote. I could not sleep at night knowing that I allowed my institution to censor what I want to say and believe, least of all a media outlet I co-founded, with the explicit goal of ensuring this never happens to other journalists, let alone me. He feels the Intercept censored the article because it was critical of a powerful Democratic politician being immediately supported by editors in the intimate national election, but doesn't think the behavior was unique to the Intercept? Of course it doesn't, because they're all got the same virus that they have to control. They have to get Donald Trump out, no matter what it costs the country, no matter how many millions of people are hurt, no matter how many millions of lives are lost. Believe me, when you lose your job, your family, you become drug addicted, you're divorced. Yeah, you know what? That's probably worse than death in some cases. It stinks. It ruins your life, and it ruins your spouse's life and your children's lives. It affects millions of people. These are the viruses that have contaminated virtually every mainstream center-left political organization, academic institution, and newsroom. Greenwald wrote, well, at least he agrees with me. This is a virus, and it is. I began writing about politics 15 years ago with the goal of combating media propaganda and repression, and regardless of risks involved, simply cannot accept any situation, no matter how secure or lucrative, that forces me to submit journalism and the right of free expression to its suffocating constraints and dogmatic dictates. Very well said. Good writer. Then he went on. I already did the part where she defended it. Preposterous. In a brief glance at the website, here are the facts. Sent me this statement regarding the departure of Greene, saying there's a fundamental disagreement over the role of veterans in the production of journalism and nature of censorship. You can stop the video and read it if you want to. The harsh rebuttal to Greenwald's resignation failed to mention anything specific about the controversy surrounding Hunter Biden's alleged overseas business associates that was first reported by the New York Post, and chalking them up to dubious claims pushed by the Trump campaign. Doesn't it sound crappy to you? That doesn't sound like they're trying to hide something. They didn't come around and say, well, we disagreed and we didn't think he had the facts on the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden money laundering scandal. Oh, can't say that because that says Joe Biden money laundering scandal in the same sentence. However, Hunter Biden's business associate claimed he met twice in the past with the former vice president, despite past statements from Biden that he had no involvement or no discussions about his family's overseas ventures. That associate, Tony Bobulinski, gave an interview on Fox News' Tucker Carlson Tonight, which I saw. The man's extremely credible. He's extremely articulate, and you can tell he keeps immaculate records. Every email, every text he's ever gotten, probably in his whole life, he still has stored somewhere. Detailed his alleged meetings with the Democratic presidential nominee, one of which took place on May 2nd, 2017, according to text messages first reported by Fox News last week. Those messages indicated the meeting did in fact take place. Bobulinski claimed Tuesday that it was Hunter Biden and Jim Biden, the brother of the former vice president, who had pushed the meeting and discussed concerns that it could hurt the family politically. Speaking with Carlson, Bobulinski also claimed Biden's denials of knowledge of his son's foreign dealings during the presidential debate was a blatant lie. The article that Greenwald said was censored by The Intercept was posted on Substack, headline, "The Real Scandal. U.S. media uses falsehoods to defend Joe Biden from Hunter's emails," and detailed recent developments in the ongoing controversy, such as mainstream media outlets refusing to cover the story. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. He gave them a chance. He says, you know what, if you don't agree with me, then publish an article alongside it, taking all the things that were in it and try to dispute them. And they said no, just like most progressive leftists do. They will not have a decent, honest, open debate on any subject or any topic. I'm right, you shut up and get out. And so he did. Good for you, Mr. Greenwald. I'm sorry that it hurt you. I hope it doesn't hurt your family too bad and yourself. I think you'll be fine when all the smoke clears. You'll be one of the few left with integrity. Start your own thing. Build up your own company. The hell with those guys. But here's the thing. This article concerning his resignation will get way more coverage than the article that Mr. Greenwald was going to write. You idiots, you did it again. Well, folks, there it is. I believe the future of our country is at stake. I believe the future of the Constitution and our way of life is also in jeopardy. Whether you think so or not, please comment below And if you disagree with me or agree with me, please, I would love to hear what you have to say. And also, if you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. At least subscribe, so that way if you disagree with me, you can argue, and that's fine too. But I need to get subscriptions up to 1,000 so I can get some ad revenue to buy some more equipment to do a lot better job with these broadcasts. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.